Which one?
The Beer Dabbler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, that's awesome.
In 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, man. It's a fun time. I've been there. It's been a couple years. I don't think they had it last year, but yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Everything should be okay.
Yes, sir. A W. Let me get the W's in the chat, man. Whatever chat you're in.
There you go.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, right.
All right, I gotta tweet this out.
Yeah, you do. Let me get the W's. Oh, it is Carolina time. Oh man, but we gotta talk about this one first. Yes, sir. What's so funny? What are you laughing at?
The comment that we're immediately starting in on. Who did not show up in this awesome win that we had? Odd. Duke fans are never going to be happy, man.
Yeah, I know.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, I see the W's. I see the W's on Twitter. Yeah, shout out my guy Oreo Rules. Got a lot to talk about. Another win. Maybe Duke is starting to click. Maybe. We'll see.
Nobody outside of Kentucky cares about that rivalry.
Exactly.
Who cares about
wins 2015 or 2010, and everybody is saying 2015.
So just got back up here at Durham a couple days ago. So been in the gym a little bit. Me and Joey been in the gym working out together.
As Duke fans, as Duke coaches, you know, but I get excited over there, even in my suit. I'm grabbing Coach Tyler's leg, like.
Yeah, my guy Rusty, you know.
Yeah, that's better.
Oh, is that where we want to start? Bates Jones. Oh yeah, let's start off the bat before we even do anything. Shout out to Bates Jones, man, a generational talent, one of the best Jones athlete in the family.
Oh my
god! But yes, welcome to Crazy Twitter Live. It's about our 11th episode of the year. Yeah, we rolling this year. Shout out to Tick Pick, the show presented by Tick Pick. Hey man, there are a lot of games running out. Shout out to the people using the code. Use the code Duke Nation, get discounted tickets. You know, shout out to the Devils there and subscribe there, man. Shout out to Adam Rowe and John Watson and the team. But yeah, let's jump right into it, man. Another win. It was ugly, but it's a win.
A win's a win, man. And when I don't know, it wasn't like the most entertaining game. But when you score only 50-some points, it's not like it's going to be this fast-paced game and super jump out of your seat exciting. But like the team played well, and defensively, I think that had to have been our best performance of the year. Obviously, we've played better teams and played good defense before, but holding a team to 14 points at halftime is pretty damn impressive. And it was our first, I think, in the ACC in like 5 or 6 years or so, maybe more than that. I saw the Duke Twitter tweeted out. Paolo Banchero in the second half was looking like number 1 overall pick. Paolo Banchero rebounding. Obviously, this is a team where you come into these games and you're like, you got to out rebound. It's a smaller team like Notre Dame, and we did that. So that was good to see as well. And I think we didn't have, we had 14 turnovers, so not great, but I think the rebounding and not letting them have second chance points really helped out. So, Russ?
Yeah, I mean, I think you nailed the biggest thing, which is the defense. I mean, we've been having some issues with defense. I mean, even in the Louisville win, they scored over a point per possession. In the Clemson win, same. Obviously, in the losses, you know, so we've been struggling a little bit on that front. And to go into South Bend against a team that has been a good offensive team for the most part all year. I mean, obviously, they beat Kentucky earlier this year. You know, this is not a team that is a slouch offensively historically or this season. And to just really smother them the way that we did, I was really impressed. The other thing that I think is really important to note about this game is we're now reaching a point where AJ is consistent enough and Paolo is consistent enough and Mark is consistent enough that if we just get like one good performance out of Roach, Keels, and Moore, then we're in pretty good shape. Like if we can have our front court be as sturdy and as stellar as they have been, we don't need Wendell to do anything other than defend and not turn the ball over. We don't need Roach to do anything other than the same. We don't need Keels to do anything other than that. We'd like them to make open threes. But I mean, at the end of the day, if Paolo and AJ and Mark are doing what they have done and the defense is as strong as this, I don't think the rest of it matters that much. I think we're going to win a lot, especially in ACC play.
Yeah,
Zion,
I mean,
I agree with you, by the way. But
yeah, I think he pretty much covered it because I see a lot of people on Twitter saying it. Can we talk about Wendell's play? I see on Andre here. Is it time to start worrying about Wendell?
Yeah.
I think we need to relax. Because like,
of course,
I think like no. I'm not even protecting him. I think like Russ said, if we get AJ scoring like this, we get Mark giving us his production, we get Paolo obviously doing what he does every game in and out. We're not gonna need all American Wendell Moore. We're honestly not gonna need 10 assists from Jeremy Roach. Like, I think we'll be fine getting one of those or two of those guys, Trevor, out of Trevor, Jeremy, and Moore. If we get two good games out of them, I think we're gonna be fine in pretty much any matchup. You got something to say? I hear.
No, I actually like. I'm not as concerned about Wendell as everybody else is. If you would have told me this year he would have came in averaging like 12 to 15 throughout the season, I'd be just fine with that. And he's averaging, I think, right at 15 points per game right now. Obviously, he had a really good start to the year, and I just don't think that was going to be able to be consistent throughout the year when you have guys like Paulo, AJ, Keels, who are all getting their shots up, and then you're asking Wendell to sometimes run the offense. So I just don't think him scoring 20 a night is going to be what we need, and it hasn't really been what we've needed in ACC play at all. Like tonight, he only scored 2, something like that, and every other game's been double digits for him. So I don't think there's much to complain about when it comes to him lately. And his turnovers, I feel like he's cut those down a little bit. But Russ, you did say somebody in the crew of, I think you said Roach, Wendell, and Trevor need to step up and take that load off, and we can go places. None of them three did any of that tonight. I think they combined for like 5 points out of the three of them: Wendell Moore, Jeremy Roach, and Trevor Keels.
Trevor did not shoot the ball well tonight, but I think
it's fine. Yeah, he's just getting back into it too.
Assisting and obviously defensively. That's where we miss him the most, his presence on defense and his ball pressure, and I think that's where he really impacted the game. I don't think it was a bad game from Trevor. Trevor's going to be a guy, we already have the sample size. Trevor's going to be a guy that shoots 3 of 12, 4 of 10, not even 4 of 10, 4 of 11 often. Like, it's going to be very often. Like, that's just who he is. But if he assists, he didn't have any turnovers today, and he plays defense, that's all we need.
Yeah.
So I got a question for you then real quick, as I know, Russ, you're going to like this question, but is it so without Roach, take his foul trouble out of the way, is it a coincidence that Roach had his worst game with Trevor Keels comes back than he has since Trevor Keels went out? Is it a coincidence or no? I'm not saying it is. It's a question. I'm not saying it is, by the way.
I think the foul trouble played way too big a role to be concerned about that. I mean, immediately out of it in the beginning of the second half, just like right away. He made a couple of questionable decisions in there with shots and otherwise. It obviously wasn't a good game from him. I think even with the box score, it was a good game from Keels between the defense, that 4-0 assist to turnover rate. And then even though he didn't make some of those shots down low, I like that he was looking in the paint to score rather than settling for jump shots. If he's getting downhill, they're not all going to get blocked. He's going to score. I think that the one good performance, Zion, to your point, that I liked today was, again, I think you can take half of Keels' performance and half of Moore's and kind of put them into one, because I thought Dell did a really good job today. Last couple of games when he's been struggling, he's been letting a lot of backdoor cuts through. He's been not as sharp defensively when he's struggling sometimes, not all the time in ACC play, but sometimes. I thought he did a very good job staying with it today, limited it to 2 turnovers. I mean, his conference numbers outside of 3-pointers so far this year are worse than his conference numbers last year. In terms of rebounding rate, assist rate, turnover rate, 2-point percentage. I mean, like you name it, down the line, other than 3-point percentage in conference play, it's been pretty bad. As long as he can defend the way that he did tonight and limit the turnovers, then I think he's still going to be a very net positive player, as I think we saw in the box score just there.
Man, I hate to harp on the negative, but this guy, I don't know whatever your name is. This guy said, obviously, I'm protecting a bad Wendell game. I don't know what you want me to do. Like,
he says, "Shocker, Zion protecting another horrible Wendell performance."
I don't think it was. I really don't think it was a horrible performance. And
his plus minus too. Pull up the stats. His plus minus was the best in the team. So like, if you're a numbers guy, like I know Russ is, you look at that and you're like, well, he couldn't have had that bad of a game, you know?
That's the defensive impact that he had. I mean, Goodwin and Wesley both had dreadful games, and I think a large part of that is that Moore was doing a very good job of sticking to his assignment, not letting backdoor cuts through. I mean, that plus minus 15 is, I guarantee, with the breakdown of offensive and defensive plus minus, a lot of that's got to be defensive. He did a really good job on that end tonight.
Listen, tell me if I'm being, I guess, biased against Wendell. I really don't think it was a bad game from Wendell today. It just, it was just the nature of the game. But I do think, number one, why are we harping on the negatives? Yo, Duke won, man. Like, this feels like a loss. Why is everyone being so negative? This team just, bro.
Yeah, Zion. People are scared about Dell because they got a taste of All-American Dell at the beginning of the season, and then they're like, we want. And I think this is a fair point, more or less. Like my 1 out of the 3 guys need to have a good performance to do really well in ACC play. Once we get to like Sweet 16 and past, we really do need 2 of them to have a good game in order to really feel good about our chances. So I think that people who are concerned about Dell right now aren't really concerned about right now. They're concerned about a month down the line. And I do think approaching that with patience is fair, but we also do have a really good sample size for ACC play right now where their concerns are somewhat merited, at least on the offensive end, for sure.
Yeah, I like that. What you put it up there, that Kyle Puckett's comment that he took their best player out of the game, and if that means taking him out of the game scoring wise, every single game, I'll take that.
It's better than Leaky Black, I'll tell you that.
I mean, I just don't get it. Like, to me, this was a great win to me because I feel like, obviously, I've said this so many times this year, but I felt like Duke could have played so much better, but they really just went on the road. What did they shoot? They shot 39% from the field, 3 of 19 from 3, and they pretty much beat a team by 20. That was 7-2 in ACC play. Like, why are we complaining? Like, this is a great win for me. I don't know.
Zion had one guy jump on him, and Zion's like the world's.
No, but it's the whole chat. No, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter.
I'm seeing it, man.
What's wrong with Wendell? What's wrong with this? We just won.
People need to focus on Paolo, really. I mean, the Paolo stuff is the huge development. I mean, I know I tweeted before the game, this is a game where nobody on their roster had a chance. Like, it's just the worst possible matchup. And I said he's got to get 20-plus shots. He got more than 20 plus. He got 22, 23 shots up. He hit a high percentage of them. When he was at the elbow, he was unstoppable. When he was spinning, he was mostly unstoppable. I mean, there's just nothing that a lot of the teams in the ACC in particular can do. So, again, I posted about this a few times. If he's shooting the ball 20 plus times, we're not just going to win. We're going to cover the spread the vast majority of the time. So, like, if that keeps happening consistently, we are going to be in very, very good shape through the rest of conference play.
Yeah, shout out to Paolo's fan cover in the chat.
No, it was just we went into a hostile environment where it was really loud and ruckus to start the game, and you didn't hear anything once we got up 7-2. The rest of the game, their crowd was silent.
No DUI chance in the second half.
No.
My goodness.
Yeah,
I wanted Sav to hit a 3 so bad, man. I wanted Sav to hit a 3.
I know. I can't believe student sections are still trying that, as if Paolo doesn't go out and drop 20, 25 a night on teams who are
helps.
That do
I'm
that.
Convinced.
It does, man. But I think another point, and maybe Zion, you can speak to this a little bit more since you seem a little salty at the negativity. This is a positive thing.
This is a positive post game.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So we got rebounding tonight, man. It seemed like the goal going into tonight and into these last 2 games was Mark, if the ball is coming to you and you know you can't grab it, just swat it out. Paulo did it. Theo did it. Mark did it.
Yeah.
They all did it. And that had to have gotten us 5 to 10 more rebounds, offensive rebounds tonight than we've seen all year. That was impressive. I haven't seen Mark hit the ball like that all year, which was super good to see.
That was
so, and I know
Brian,
it's a smaller team, but Zion, what do you think about the rebounding now and going forward against, like, we got Baycott this weekend?
I mean, I don't think we'll dominate a lot of teams like we dominated tonight on the glass, but I think it's definitely a positive to take away. Like, that was my big thing coming into the game. I said 2 things: run them off the 3-point line, dominate the glass. And I knew dominate the glass had to happen because they just gave up to like hella offensive rebounds to like UVA, and like UVA is not a big team at all. So like Mark, I think that was big for Mark tonight, but he really just embodied the Brian Zubek mentality. Like when Brian Zubek started clicking on that 2010 team, that was really what he did. Tap it out, offensive rebound. I mean, if he could continue to do that all year, it just creates offensive possessions for us. And I think, ultimately we're going to start taking advantage of them. We didn't really take advantage of them tonight, but like, hey, I think that was a big for us tonight.
Yeah.
Huge.
Theo John played really well too off the bench for a bigs.
Great. Yeah, Mark holding his ground on some of those shot block attempts. There have been a few games where he's swatting at stuff where he has like no chance of getting it even for him. And then it just makes a very, very easy putback. I thought he did a good job tonight, picking and choosing his spots a lot more, trusting his defenders, trying to just impede without necessarily like jumping for it and getting out of the way. I thought that was also a really strong development.
For sure.
I got a question for y'all though. I just tweeted it out. Is this the turning point of Duke's season? This little
Saturday
after Saturday.
I think you're
Saturday
right.
First.
Yeah, Saturday for sure. I think this game. I think if it had a home game following it that wasn't UNC, this game definitely could have been the turning point where we put it together defensively, offensively, we were okay. But I think the fact that we go to Chapel Hill now with Coach K's last game there, I think if we can go in there and win by double digits or with a commanding lead throughout, I think that's
we don't need a commanding. Just win.
No, I agree, but I'm just saying, like I think you think turning point games. You think like they've turned the corner and they like you dominate a game. You don't just win because you don't win like a 62-60 game where both teams were garbage. Like if you want a turning point game in the season, you got to go in there and basically dominate. I think I'm not saying dominate all together and win by 20 plus, but if they can go in there and show they're by far the better team, that'll be the turning point.
It'd be nice to win by 20 plus.
Oh my goodness. Goodness.
They don't have anybody. They also don't have anybody for Paolo. I mean, like they can put Leaky Black on him if they want. I don't think that'll go well. And also if they put him on them, then you've got Brady Manick on AJ Griffin, and we're going to see a 25-point game from AJ. I mean, like I just don't know what they're going to do. They're going to feed Baycott a lot. I think Baycott will definitely get his. If Dawson Garcia plays, he can't defend Paolo at all. Dawson's a really terrible defender. So I don't know what they're going to do. It's such a huge spot for us. We can ostensibly knock UNC off the bubble in a real way. Like we're both of their big win chances left this season. Right now, they're like first 4 out on ESPN, something like this. Like they have a very bad resume.
They shouldn't even be on the first 4 out.
They should.
No, the name's helping.
But this is by far their best chance at a big win this season. So I mean, if we really want to humiliate them and go in and assert ourselves as like a firm 2 seed sort of team, this is the sort of game that we definitely need to be winning, and not in a lucky way, but in a way that is again showing the world who we are.
I get that, but the rivalry doesn't do that.
Duke. I get it's UNC. It's always going to be close. I get that. Like, but that doesn't mean that we can't be winning in a way where like it's a 4-point game with a minute left, and then we have to hit our free throws. We win by 9. I mean, like, I think that's the sort of win that would be better than it's a 1-point game. It's the last possession against a UNC team that doesn't have many matchups for a lot of our better players. I mean, like, also who's going to defend Trevor Keels if Trevor Keels is playing better? Like, if Trevor gets downhill, they don't have somebody for that. Like, So we have such a huge athletic advantage against this UNC team, which very rarely happens. So, like, I really think we need to take advantage in a very real way.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just fully moved into UNC talk, so let's just jump into it, I guess. So, like, you know, I agree. I agree. Matchup wise, I think Baycott will get his, but I think it's going to be interesting because we know what Caleb Love did to Rose last year, and Caleb Love played about 2 good games last year. They were both
Yeah.
against Duke. So like he kind of steps it up for that moment. But I think it's interesting. We'll have Wendell and Keels on him.
We'll
This
definitely
time
do
around.
that. Yeah. There's no way we won't. I mean, adding Keels is huge. And then Moore has been better defensively than he was last year. He went through stretches last year
100%.
defensively where he just was not very good. And like this year, he has had some games where he lets his offensive woes get to him a little bit, but for the most part, he's been a plus defender. So I definitely think that shouldn't happen. If we put Roach on an island with Love, that's a loss Roach just because of size. But yeah.
I just watched the tape last year and I get so annoyed because Love was just doing unreal things. Like if you watch the tape from last year, you would think Caleb Love is a first top 10 pick, like a lot. Like he just played that ridiculous. But I think it'll definitely be interesting this year. But I mean, is there a little worry on you guys' part if they do lose this game?
If Duke loses?
Yeah.
Not really. It's probably the toughest game we have left on the schedule for the rest of the regular season. It would not be an optimal game to lose, but it's a quad one game. I mean, like I don't think it's the sort of thing that would really sink us. Realistically, we're going to lose one more game the rest of the year at some point. And if it's a quad one game and not like some bullshit game to Pittsburgh or whatever, then like I think that's fine. I don't want to lose because it's UNC, but I don't think it would be a huge detriment to like our confidence in the team. Again, a 3-game road stretch, you have more than a coin flip chance of losing at least one of those 3 games.
100%.
If we emerge 3-0, it's awesome. And if we emerge 2-1, losing probably the hardest game of the 3, then it kind of sucks that it's against UNC, but I think we'll just take it.
Yeah, I don't know. I've watched a couple games of UNC this year. Obviously, I don't tune in every time. And 1, I don't like them. 2, they're garbage. And 3, I got better things to do. But I think my biggest thing is like they can't defend at all. They've given up 80 plus points in how many games this year? They can obviously score if they just put up 100 points over the weekend. Like they can obviously score. It's going to be a shootout, I would assume. But I think I like our defense to be able to stop their offense better than I think they're going to have a chance with our guys on offense. So. Nope, none of their guys match up really well against us. If we can take advantage of that and just get stops when we need them, it'll be a good game. But it's going to be fun though. Like if they play the way their both teams normally do, a shootout in the Duke Carolina rivalry.
I don't want no shootout. I don't want no shootout, bro. I don't want no.
You know what's going to be though? We're going to have to. I mean, they're going to get theirs.
I don't think that's a lot of people thought tonight was going to be a shootout.
Yeah, I think Dan Schulman started the game by saying this game's going to be 80s. Both teams are going to be 80s or 70s, and it literally was the opposite. But
Duke doesn't do the shootout thing. I don't think I want to see us in a shootout just because I don't think offensively we haven't been good this year enough to, win shootout games. I'd rather us,
True.
Be in a battle, 66, 65, 60 type game. I'm fine with those because we win those type of games. We won those games against Kentucky. We beat Gonzaga the same way. Even though Gonzaga game got a little high, but it was like
Gonzaga game was a shootout. Gonzaga game was a straight up shootout.
Oh yeah,
it was like 85-81 or something.
It was almost an 80 possession game. I mean,
but we didn't play well we didn't play well offensively.
That's true, but it was a shootout in the sense that it was up and down and nonstop offense.
It was a high possession game. I definitely give you that, but I think offensively you definitely could have played a lot better. But yeah, I think I'd rather be in a slugfest, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's the rivalry. So you take it how you can get it. Like I don't need a blowout. I just need a win.
Where's the William Freeman comment from earlier? The let Wendell guard Leaky Black and sag off. I kind of wonder if maybe we should put Wendell on like Brady Manick or one of those shooters, chase a shooter around, let Paolo guard Black so that he can help with double teams on Baycott. I know we don't want to double that much. It's just not really what Duke does very much, but that's so much of their offense. And Baycott's bigger and wider than Mark. Like we've got to run some doubles. I've got to think.
I can't. You said put who on Brady Manick?
Put like Wendell on Manick. Like just let Wendell chase him, deny.
I can't let that happen because number one, UNC gets if their guards get going, it's a problem. So I'd rather cut cut off that part of their offense and their offense. When their offense has gone to, we need Armando Bacot to carry us.
Yeah,
That's when they lose games. That's when they got smoked. They got smoked by Notre Dame. They got smoked by Kentucky. It
That's
was
fair.
Armando Bacot doing it himself. So like, I don't
That's fair.
need. I want to cut off the head of the snake, cut off their guard play, and we'll see the rest from there.
Yeah, I just assumed that Keels would guard Love. If the assignment goes to Moore, then that's great. I just more was putting the point that whoever is defending Black should be somebody who can go in and help on the interior, I would think. And beyond that, I don't really care who the personnel is. It can be Joey Baker for all I care.
Yeah. Do y'all think we get a Base Jones minutes on Saturday though?
Yes.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think it's
Lock City.
Yeah, I think it's kind of wild the bench point or the bench minutes that we've been seeing the last 2 or 3 games now, and I don't know what changed with Coach K, but tonight we had Joey, Theo, Bates, I think Keels and Roach all on the floor at the same time, something like that. It was like, what is going on? And then for a big stretch, it ended the half, I'm pretty sure, basically, and
it was like the last
we had our biggest lead of the night going into halftime because of it. So they were on the floor, and I'm not saying because of it, but like it was them that was responsible for it. So it's like, I mean, if they're going to keep providing minutes like that, you no reason to try to push Banchero to get 40 minutes and more getting 40 minutes. You might as well sub in guys when you can and get what you get.
I think part of that was probably necessity because Roach picked up those 2 fouls, AJ picked up 2 fouls, and so like I think he just wanted to run out some other people, but it has been relatively consistent even through the Keels thing. I wonder if he's concerned about legs. Already. I mean, Jeremy and Wendell were playing 40 minutes a pop during that Keels stretch, that Keels injury stretch. So like,
but they do get 4 days off, like so.
Yeah,
I mean, I think they should be fine. Minutes wise,
I think he trusts playing Bates 5 to 10 minutes a game. I think it's clear that he trusts him to play 5 to 10 a game.
What you need, someone said Bates is the next J-Rob. Oh wow. I don't think we have enough time for that. I don't think we have enough time for him to be a J-Rob, but nah. But I think it's definitely you need that on every team. You need someone who could just give your team some rest a little bit in the beginning of the game. You could just toss them in, not really worried about it. But hey, shout out to Bates Jones, man, generational talent. We stand Bates Jones in this. Any Bates Jones haters, you can leave the show right now. But it
was the perfect game for him against a team that somebody in my comments said he would start for Notre Dame. That he's like a quintessential Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's true.
I like
that. Is accurate though.
Shout out to whoever that was.
I really just don't want Bacot to get his on Saturday. I don't want Leaky to lock anybody down. Based on the Hubert Davis comments, like shut out Bacot and don't let Leaky Black do his thing on defense. Like, who are they gonna? Who's gonna guard, or who's Black gonna guard? More Keels. He's definitely
going to guard Paolo. There's no one. There's literally
they don't have anybody else to guard him.
Yeah, like they've got to.
If you put Black on,
I don't know.
If you put Black on Paolo, who are you putting Manic on?
Anyone else, like literally anyone else, like put him on Wendell Moore and let Wendell shoot. Like there's you just can't do.
If you put Manic on Moore.
Yeah, they'll let Wendell beat us. They'll let Wendell beat them. They don't want to let Paolo beat them. And if they think Black is their best chance, I've got to think Black draws that assignment, especially if they think he's defensive player of the
Leaky Black against Paolo, barbecue chicken.
Great.
Brady
you can say that for everybody.
Paolo, Brady Manic versus Paolo, barbecue chicken.
Yeah,
go down the list.
Oh my goodness.
Like Russ said today, 20 plus. For Banchero, and we win this game by double digits. 20 plus shots. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're going to do – he's got to do the same thing against UNC. I mean, I've got to think he's got to do the same thing against UNC.
That's a big-ass lineup that guy just said.
Yeah.
Paulo, Theo, and Williams, that's clogging up a lot. And
also why? UNC's not that big. I mean, Yeah,
they have one big man, one big man that could give us trouble. Like other than that, nobody else is on that roster that really puts fear.
Yeah. Ben Hirsch in the comments is asking, what did Hubert Davis say? Hubert Davis called Leaky Black Defensive Player of the Year and Armando Baycott ACC Player of the Year like 2 weeks ago. It was more, like 2.5 weeks ago.
Listen, it
And
does
UNC fans liked that at the time, didn't they?
Yeah,
It turned around very quickly, huh?
Yeah.
It does get dicey though. I think UNC plays Louisville tomorrow, but it does get dicey if UNC does win that game, because then they actually tie us. Oh no, yeah, they tie us in the ACC standings.
Yeah,
which is
they would.
Which would be kind of wild.
Does UNC play one more before us?
Yeah, they play Louisville. Louisville tomorrow.
Yeah, but they play Louisville without Malik Williams. That if they don't win that, then like
Malik Williams not playing.
He's been indefinitely suspended for like conduct detrimental or whatever.
Oh, I didn't see that. That must have been for his post-game comments before Duke.
Or maybe I don't know. I don't know what the story is there, other than the coach came out and said it's an indefinite suspension. His leadership is valuable to us, and we'd like him back soon or whatever.
I didn't hear what he said, but he made somebody in the chat can say he made some comments before the Duke game to the press, and they played it during the game.
Yeah, he said they asked him has the team lost faith in the coach, and he said I'm not going to comment on that. But like it was kind of the way he said it, where he's kind of paused and he thought for like 5 seconds, and then he said, "I'm not going to comment on that." Where like people read it, I didn't even think he said anything that bad, but the pause the media sort of ran with for sure. And I think they were right to run with it too. I think they knew that Louisville wanted Mac out, and they took that pause and said, "All right, let's roll."
All right, give me your to reel it back to Duke. Who cares about Louisville? Give me your score predictions for Saturday.
Russ, you go first.
Oh, thanks, man. It's something in the ballpark of like 76-68 Duke, something like this. Like not like again, it shouldn't be a buzzer beater unless Caleb Love really goes off. Otherwise, I mean, I bet the spread will be like us -3 or 4. I think we can cover if Paolo shoots enough shots.
Wait, so the UNC doesn't have Anthony Harris?
No, he got, I don't know if he was suspended. I don't know if it's academics or what, but yeah, he's out.
He is not definitely for the while. Yeah.
No, he's taking a break.
Yeah, I'll take a break from that team too.
I'm going 81 or 82-71. And Duke pulls away late. Paulo's too much for them to handle. No one can. I thought it was academics. No one on their team can stop. No one on their team can stop Paulo. Paulo's going to get 25 plus. I think this is Paulo shows up for these big games against good teams that he wants to put on a show for. He did it against Gonzaga. He did it against Kentucky. He played decent against Ohio State, but like this is the game that he came to Duke to play, these rivalry games, these big games. So I think this is a Paulo takeover game where you see the real Paulo. I'm pumped, man. How about you, Zion?
I mean, if Paulo and Wendell and Keels don't start cramping in these games, I'll go Duke. I'll go Duke 77, UNC 71. I'll keep it fairly close. Yeah, I won't. It's the rivalry, so you never know with these games. But I think Duke pulls away late, and it's on the road. Even though UNC, their fans don't show up to games, can't relate. But yeah, I think Duke will pulls away late. And I hope it's one of them Louisville. Oh, those last 4 minutes against Louisville, I need that again. Nice. I need that again. That would put UNC in the dirt, but definitely I think
if we can win this game convincingly, I think there's a really good chance that it just like destroys their morale for the rest of the season. Like this is the sort of thing where the fans are already teetering on Hubert a little season 1.
Yeah.
Oh, they're already cooking them.
Yeah, but like if they win against us on Saturday, then I think they'll give them there'll be a little more breathing room. If like we can go in and really take care of business, I think that the team just crumbles probably after that. And wouldn't that be awesome?
Oh my goodness. Because UNC fans you already know you're not getting the one in Cameron, that's for sure. Coach K's last game at Cameron, that's a L for you.
Way.
That's
guaranteed L. That is a guaranteed L. But we got Paolo will drop 20, 23 and 14. Grayson Pittman says 77-63, 81-68. Okay, a lot of people going with the 8. Dang, some Jeremy said Caleb Love 25, Baycott 24 and 21. Which side you on, bro? Come on, my guy. Which side you on? But I think Duke is gonna pull this out. It's gonna be a fun game of the year, obviously, because it's Duke Carolina. But
Second game of the year. First game of the year will be the next one.
Oh yeah, of course. But that's gonna be emotional night, because the last game in Cameron. But we'll see. It's a lot. It's a lot of basketball left to be played. But to me, this looked like Duke has turned the corner. I'd said it before this stretch. If we go 3-0 during this stretch right here, then we'll find out really about this Duke team if they're legit or not. And I think they're proving it so far. So yeah, we will be live after that game. I don't think we will be doing Duke UNC debate. I don't know. I have to see it. I have to see if we could put a team together. A lot of UNC fans I've hit up don't want to talk about their team. Like they literally just said, like, no, I don't want to talk about this team. They stink.
It's hard to defend them this year.
Can't blame them.
Yeah, it's hard to defend UNC this year. So maybe we'll try it the second time around. If not, yeah. So we'll see. We'll be back Saturday, if not Thursday or Friday. But yeah, I don't got anything. If y'all got anything or anybody hit your final comments in the section.
No, I mean, I think my new favorite viewer is Paulo Fan Club. He said I got the highest basketball IQ, so we're gonna take that.
Paulo Fan Club. Listen, Paulo Fan Club just approves of anything pro Paulo. Like Paulo can legit play horrible, and if you say Paulo just played the best game, he will tweet at you saying I love you. So
that's
smart
funny.
man. Smart man.
I'll close it. UNC is the worst team at forcing turnovers in the NCAA out of high major teams.
They're the worst at forcing turnovers?
Correct. They're 355th in the country. They're also, even in conference play, they're the worst by a pretty notable margin. Even though Duke has not been good at it either in conference play, UNC is just, they are not interested. I mean, just straight up. And I do think that that's probably something that bodes well for us, since one of the ways we can definitely lose, as we've seen this year, is on the turnover battle. If we lose the turnover battle against this team, that's not optimal.
What is Duke by the numbers?
Oh, you did.
That's a little podcast that I've been.
Plug it, man. Plug it. It's all
I didn't even know.
I've been doing a podcast once or twice a week, just dropping some stats, dropping some analytics.
My bad.
Zion, you probably wouldn't like it. There's a lot of numbers in it, and it's a lot of analytical stuff.
He's up to 6th in Ken Palm Player of the Year, by the way, as I predicted when we talked about it.
Yeah,
Paolo. He's climbing. I told you by the end of the season, he's going to climb that ladder, man. It just takes some time.
I'm still not using KenPom, Def to KenPom, the site, not the person, the site.
I was about to say, Jesus Christ.
Wow.
the site.
Zion's got some inner demons with KenPom.
Launching
war against an analytics guy. Good grief.
Yeah, check out Russ's podcast, next Duke by the Duke by the numbers. Just don't if he's bringing up KenPom stats, don't put too much value into them, because KenPom is fake.
Just don't tweet it at Zion. You can listen to the KenPom explanations and enjoy them, and then let Zion do his thing.
Oh man,
That's so funny.
Shout out to Mel. I forgot your shout out. But yeah,
that is true.
If y'all got anything else, a lot of people still here for some reason. That's why I'm still talking. Like, there's a lot of people still watching. So,
Wait, can I ask one more? Can I ask one more question to Zion and Ryan?
Yeah.
How many games do you think we're losing the rest of the year? Regular season.
It's weird because I feel like we played so many road games, but we still have to go.
Yeah,
obviously to UNC, we go to Clemson, Boston College, Virginia, Syracuse, and Pitt.
Yeah,
like if we run the table on the road, I'd be genuinely shocked. But like, I'm afraid of every road game besides the UNC one and Boston College. But like,
in fact,
at the Carrier Dome, does that scare me? Like, it doesn't scare me, but Virginia's
zone is
hot
really
garbage.
bad. Zone. First of all, Syracuse's zone is bad, and second of all, teams should not zone Duke this year. It's a really bad idea.
Yeah,
We moved the ball
I
too
could
well.
see us losing 2. I hope it's 1. It's Clemson's pretty good, aren't they?
Did they almost beat us in Cameron?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no,
So
that game is-
at
yeah, that game worries me.
Clemson scares me next weekend. Next week scares me a little bit.
I don't know why Virginia scares me. It just does for some reason. Just because it's Virginia and it's gonna be the second game, number 2, we play them. So they're gonna have a little scouting report on us. But I don't know. Virginia always that road game scares me. And you know their fans are gonna bring it. They're gonna make it rowdy. But you know, other than that, I say we lose 2 max. 2 max, and I think we actually lose 1.
Yeah.
We have another 3-game road trip. That's great. I feel like we just played so many road games this year.
Road Warriors.
Well, we had to replace the Notre Dame one. We would have had the Notre Dame and Clemson ones earlier in the season and had to replace them. So that didn't help.
True.
But is
Russ, what about you? What do you
even
think?
a road game though? Go ahead, Russ.
Yeah. I think 2 is fair. Zion's boy Ken Palm projects us to lose 2 more potentially, even though we will be favored in all of them.
That means we're going on.
I think that 2 is probably a reasonable expectation, while 1 would be exceeding. I certainly, because we're favored in every game, I like our chances of only losing 1. But again, just by law of basketball, we'll have a stinker somewhere in there that we shouldn't lose that we will. I mean, so yeah, I think 2 is completely reasonable, and I think that if we only lose 2 more, our chances of winning the ACC are really strong.
It's also weird playing. I feel like we're playing UNC very early this year, and that feels weird. Like I feel like we're inching closer to March, but we're still over a month away from March. Like it feels like the season's coming to an end. Do we always play in this early in February?
Yeah,
I feel like it's always like normally it's like at UNC 2 more games and then home against UNC or vice versa.
Oh yeah,
I feel like there's never
yeah.
I feel like there's never 8 games or like 6 games between the two, or 8 games between the 2 matchups. So that's why it feels like we're so close to like the end of the season, but we got a long ways to go, a lot of games left.
Yeah. We got to just not mess around, man. The ACC title is completely obtainable.
Both titles, yeah.
Miami just keep on winning on some half-court shots. maybe won't.
Regression's coming on that.
Yeah. I think Miami's gonna eventually lose a game. But we'll see.
They've got Wake Forest on the road left. They've got UVA on the road left, which won't be easy for them. They've got Syracuse on the road, which I think is a worse matchup for them than it will be for us. I mean, they've got some tough stuff left on the schedule.
Yeah.
Notre Dame in their next game, Notre Dame's going to be like out for blood and really, really wanting to win. So it's only in 2 days. Though. I'm looking at it.
Notre Dame has hell after they got to play every 2 days.
Yeah, Notre Dame.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I can't relate though. You know, my team is getting rest, so I don't care. But yeah, we definitely appreciate y'all. Ryan, you may be hosting the next one, man. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah, hope you guys take it easy on me, man. Zion's gonna show me the ropes, and we're gonna take over. You're going on a little road trip, though, huh?
A little road trip. I'll try my best to. I don't know what can happen, but you know, we're going to the Pro Bowl and the Super Bowl, so gotta do some work. But you know, if I have to drop out, I might. You know, Ryan's gonna be here. Russ might be here. If there's some good Kempon stats, you know, I could take a break and he could spend the whole show on Kempon, but you know, we'll see.
There's always good stats.
We'll see, but we definitely appreciate y'all for tuning in with us. Like we said, we don't know when the next show will be. Likely Saturday. Might put a Duke UNC debate, but UNC fans are scared right now, so you know, we'll see.
Flaky.
We appreciate y'all for joining us.